Ladies and gentlemen, I know this list got released about 2 days ago, but I've been absolutely sick to my stomach. I haven't slept in the last 2 nights. NBA just released a top 75 players of all time list for the 75th anniversary. I feel, as someone from the newer generations, I feel disrespected. This list is just absolutely unacceptable, so but I'm just not happy at all. So Dwight Howard didn't make the list. 8-time All-Star, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, NBA champion. Pau Gasol didn't make the list. Vince Carter didn't make the list. Vince Carter has 25,000 career points. He is not on the list. Mutombo didn't make the list. Tony Parker, Tracy McGrady, Yao Ming, Penny Hardaway, Kyrie Irving, and Klay Thompson. I think it is absolutely absurd that Kyrie Irving and Klay Thompson didn't make the list. Kyrie Irving is the most skilled point guard of all time. Klay Thompson is the second best shooter of all time behind Steph Curry. Klay Thompson had 37 points in a quarter. And you're telling me these bums from the 50s are better than Klay Thompson all time? I'm going to play some footage of what the 50s basketball looks like. It's going to be playing in the background right now. This is 50s basketball, and you're telling me that Klay Thompson and Kyrie Irving aren't better than them. So we're just going to go through the list. I'm just going to say if they're valid or not. Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson, Dwight Howard, Tony Parker, Gasol, all of them, all these guys here, they should 100%. Tracy McGrady. How's Tracy McGrady not on the top 75 players of all time list? This is absolutely absurd. I'm not happy with this at all. The disrespect to the new generation players must be stopped. People just play in the 50s and automatically just get into the Hall of Fame and put in people's top 10 lists. Like, they've never seen them play. They've never even seen a highlight of this player, and they put him in their top 10 lists and stuff. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, obviously, definitely deserves to be on this top 75 players list. Ray Allen as well. Third best shooter of all time behind Curry and Klay. Okumpo. I was so happy that I seen Okumpo on this list. I actually had a feeling. Oh, Luka Doncic, by the way, I don't even care that he's only played 3 seasons in the NBA. He's automatically a top 75 player of all time after what he's done in his rookie season. Automatically, no questions asked. 100% better than every single player from the 50s all the way up to probably the 80s, probably even the 90s. Luka Doncic, 100%, no questions asked. Even people like Jordan Clarkson and all those type of players, Raymond Felton, they should all be on the top 75 players list too, compared to, not necessarily, but they should be on there above the players from the 50s. Okumpo, obviously, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, I believe, and 2-time MVP, Finals MVP, NBA champion. Carmelo Anthony, obviously, we know what Carmelo's done. One of the best scorers of all time. Nate Archibald, I've actually heard of this guy, but top 75 players of all time? I don't think so. I do not think so. He played in the 70s. I mean, he had that one good year. Like, look, how is this guy better than Klay Thompson? Someone explain to me how he's better than Klay Thompson. I just honestly just don't understand. Like, Klay Thompson shoots higher percent from 3 than what he does from the field. Like, oh man, I just feel bad for Klay Thompson, man. Pull a reason. I'm not even trying to be funny. I've literally never heard of this guy in my entire life. Not even like, who is this? Yeah, 1950. He played in the 50s. Once again, Klay Thompson shoots higher percent from 3 than what this guy does from the field. This is just absurd to me. Paul Asrin, I've literally never heard of this guy in my entire life. He wasn't even an NBA player. He was probably an ABA player or whatever the league was before the NBA. Charles Barkley, well deserved. Rick Barry. I mean, obviously, Rick Barry is a pretty known player, but is he a top 75 player of all time? Personally, I don't think so. Personally, I don't, he has a lot of accolades and stuff, but to be honest, I can pick a lot of. Take Raymond Felton over him all time. Personally, if I needed someone to run a team, I'm taking Raymond Felton in today's NBA. Elgin Baylor, that's respectable. Dave Bing. No, Dave Bing's not a top 75 player of all time. Absolutely no. I'm sorry, Dave Bing. Once again, Klay Thompson shoots higher percent from 3 than what he does from the field. Klay Thompson has better achievements. Like, Klay Thompson scored 37 points in a quarter, and you're telling me that Dave Bing is a better player than him. Larry Bird, yes. Kobe, obviously. Wilt, obviously. Bob Cousy, might let this one slide, I guess. I don't know. I still would take Kyrie over him. I'd take Klay over him. I'll take... what am I even talking about? Like, look at this dude. I didn't even know his stats were this bad. How he shot 35%. How is this guy a top 75 player of all time? Klay averages more points and he shoots higher percent from 3 than what he does than what this guy does from the field. This just makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. How is this guy better than any of these players here? Like, even like Raymond Felton. I'm taking once again Raymond Felton. He's on the top 75 players list of all time instead of Bob Cousy. Okay, sorry, I just got a call from my girlfriend, but I'm back, and we're going to look at David Cohen's once again. Raymond Felton might be getting the call up for this list over David Cohen's, with absolute all due respect, of course, for all these players. I'm just going to stay calm. They put this guy on the list over Tracy McGrady, Dwight Howard, Raymond Felton, Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson, Tony Parker. This is just absolutely absurd. Billy Cunningham, I am telling you right now, I have literally never heard of this guy. Never have I ever heard of this guy. Billy Cunningham? Who is this? And why is he on the top 75 players of all time list? It just doesn't make sense to me. How are these guys better than the new generation players? The disrespect that the new generation players get is just ridiculous. Steph Curry, valid. Anthony Davis, valid. Dave DeBushery. This guy probably was a plumber. 1963 to 1974. Not even going to go there. Clyde Drexler, valid. Tim Duncan, valid. Kevin Durant, valid. Julius Erving, valid. Patrick Ewing, valid. Walt Frazier, valid. Well, it's still questionable. I'll still take Kyrie and stuff over him, but, you know, it is what it is. Kevin Garnett, valid. George Gervin, absolutely not. I watched some highlights of George Gervin. There's no way he's better than Kyrie Irving. I'm just going to use Kyrie Irving as an example for a lot of these guys. Howard Greer, I actually heard about this guy the other day for the first time in my entire life. And, yeah, he played in the 1950s. That is automatically makes you invalid on this list. Any single game before 1985, automatically invalid. James Harden, valid. Havlicek, absolutely not. Watch highlights of Havlicek. There is no way on God's green earth that this man is a better basketball player than someone like Kyrie Irving or Klay Thompson. I've watched his highlights. Absolutely not. Elvin Hayes. I mean, I don't know. I'm just going to leave Elvin Hayes for now. I just don't even want to get into that right now. Allen Iverson, valid. LeBron James, valid. Magic Johnson, valid. Sam Jones, I think he played for the Celtics in like the 40s. We'll have a quick look. Yeah, 1958, automatically 100% invalid if you played in the 50s. Michael Jordan, valid. Jason Kidd, valid. Kawhi Leonard, yes. Jerry Lucas, is that Jerry West's like second cousin or something? Like, oh, I don't even, why did that open like that? 1964, yeah. How is this guy better than... Man, this is just the most frustrating thing I've ever seen in my life. Karl Malone, yes. Moses Malone, sure. I'll take Dwight Howard over him, but yeah. Peter Maravich, actually he was on an all-time list one time, and I was very upset about him being on the all-time best players list. Was not happy at all about that. Absolutely disrespectful to the new generation players. Oh, man. It's just people like this on the list. Bob McAdoo. Like, oh my god. Like, Kevin McHale. No, I'm taking Dwight Howard, Kyrie, Klay McGrady over Kevin McHale. George McCann. I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, I thought this was a baseball player. Not even trying to be... 1949. This guy is on the list in front of Klay Thompson. This guy... 38% from the field, 18 points. 1949, and he shot 38% from the field. And he was a scoring champion, so that just proves how shit the fucking 50s was. This is just ridiculous. I'm actually close to tearing up here to my new generation players who are 15 to 20 times better than... I mean, that's just how the revolution works. Evolution, revolution, I don't really know which word I'm looking for, but things get better over time, and people were just getting stuck in the old days thinking that these old generation players are better when it's just absolutely incorrect. Reggie Miller, valid. Earl Monroe, do know this guy's name, not 100% sure what he's looking like. Yep, I don't know how he's on the list above him. Steve Nash, sure. Dirk, yep. Hakeem, absolutely. Shaq, absolutely. Robert Parrish, played in the 30s, absolutely not. Chris Paul, yes. Gary Payton, yes. Bob Petty, I know this guy played in literally the 20s, 1925 to like 1935, I think. Yeah, 1955. I don't even want to look at his stats. Automatically invalid. Paul Pierce, absolutely. Scottie Pippen, yes. Willis Reed, he's actually a bit of a demon on 2K, so I actually might let this one slide. I used to use him in 2K16. He was actually a bit of a gun, but with that being said, absolutely not taking him over Dwight Howard. Oscar Robinson, yeah, sure. David Robinson, yes. Rodman, yes. Bill Russell, sure. Even so, he played in the 50s. Like, Dwight Howard's obviously a better player than him, but Bill Russell, 11 championships. I guess we'll just let him be on the top 75. Dolph Skaheyes? This has to be from the 30s. 1950, yep, automatically invalid. Don't even want to look at his stats. Bill Sharman. Who is Bill Sharman? Bill Sharman? 1950, automatically invalid. Like, how are these 50 players better than the most skilled point guard of all time and the best shooter of all time? John Stockton, he's a plumber. I don't even know if I want to see him on this list. Isaiah Thomas Shaw, Nate Thurmond. I do know a lot of these names, by the way. I just never really looked at their stats. Nate Thurmond. What year did he play in? 1960. Yeah. Oh, how is this guy on the list? Look at this. Look at these stats here. How did this guy make the list? I don't know. Where's Unseld? Played in the 50s. I'm sorry. Not valid. Dwayne Wade, yes. Bill Walton, absolutely not. Bill Walton, absolutely not whatsoever. In the 50s, and he averaged 12 points. Absolutely not. Get him off the list. Jerry West, no. Played in the 30s. Sorry, Jerry West. Russell Westbrook, absolutely. Lenny Wilkins. Guessing this, whose name's Lenny in 2021? This guy's definitely from the 30s. 1961, absolutely not a top 75 player of all time. Taking Raymond Felton over him all time. James Worthy, sure. Dominic Wilkins, sure. This is the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen in my life. Luka Doncic is literally better than every single player I just searched up into basketball reference, and it's not even debatable. So is Joe Ingles. It's about time someone stood up for the new generation players, because they're just a million times better and they just get absolutely shit. Like Zach LaVine, for example, 100% better than most of the people on this list. I've had enough of the disrespect to the new generation players. They work just as hard, if not harder. Obviously, we don't really know how hard these players worked back in their day, so I'm not going to say that the new generation players worked hard, because I'm not sure. But new generation players shouldn't be disrespected because they're playing in a new generation compared to the old heads. The old heads shouldn't get more recognition because they played in an older generation. I think it's ridiculous. Everyone should be judged the same. And yeah, this caps off the top 75 player. I've been sick to my stomach the last 2 days after seeing this. Absolutely sick to my stomach, and yeah, I just need to go get some fresh air before I break down.